Hello, Darren Alf here from BicycleTouringPro.com. I am in Jokkmokk, Sweden, and for the last week or so I have been riding this bicycle across Sweden. I'm above the Arctic Circle right now, and I thought I would take a moment just to give you a quick overview of my brand new Co-Motion Cycles Siskiyou touring bicycle. Alright, so here it is. This is the Co-Motion Cycles Siskiyou touring bicycle. I'm going to give you a quick overview and let you know what I think of the bike thus far. The first thing that you'll notice probably is the unique paint job. And that's one of the things that makes Co-Motion Cycles so unique, is that they will basically custom paint your bike however you want it. They have a whole range of colors and color options that you can use to paint your bike, fades and different things. This is the color option that I chose, which is kind of custom for Bicycle Touring Pro. It's a red, white, and black design. I even asked them to add my website down here, and that's really cool. I like this, so when I meet people on the road and they say, "What's your website?" I say, pull out your camera and just take a picture of this. And that's a very easy way for me to pass on my information. While we're down here, let me scoot out of the sun, you'll notice that there is no chain or derailleur system on this bicycle like you would see on so many traditional bicycles or touring bicycles. Instead, there is a Gates carbon belt drive here, which is a belt very much like you would see on a car motor or something like that. And there is a Pinion gearbox. So this box down here at the bottom of my bicycle, you'll see, is built into the frame of the bike. This is not something that you can add to any bicycle aftermarket. It is basically custom built for this bike. And this gearbox allows me to have a super wide range of gears. There are 18 total gears, and it is super smooth thus far. I really like it, and it's going to be very hard to go back to a traditional chain and derailleur system after riding with the Pinion. The ride is super smooth, it's super strong. You can stand up and pump like crazy on this thing and not really have to worry about breaking it. These belts is probably the number one question that I've gotten about this is, how often do these break? And from what I've been told, not very often. That you can probably go for years without having to replace it. I don't know what the actual breaking point is at this point, but hopefully I never find out. While we're back here, there are no gears on the back side of the bike. All of the gearing is inside this gearbox, the Pinion gearbox. So yeah, there's basically just this drivetrain and that's it. On the back side there, you'll see that the bike has cabled disc brakes, which are really nice, and can't really see them very well from this view, but up here, let me see, here's the front disc brake. Co-Motion had really nice disc brakes on their previous models of bicycles in years past. I really liked them, but these new disc brakes are even better, and I think that was a real good improvement. While we're here as well, you'll see that there are no quick release skewers for the bike anymore on the fork or in the back here, and instead there is this new system in which you use your multi-tool basically to attach and detach your wheels, which is really nice. It's kind of a much more firm and stable way of connecting your wheels and tires to your bicycle. So I really like that. I've obviously added this front rack and the fenders, the rear rack and the fender here. That's all aftermarket. Up here on the handlebars, I've added a computer, of course, that's just my own. But here is how you change gears for the Pinion gearbox. It's basically just this one dial right here. And you can change gears while you're just sitting here. So like I can go up. So this you know, 18 is like the hardest gear to pedal in, basically. You'd be going super, super fast. And then all the way down to 1 is like the lowest gear when you're climbing hills. So I'm usually, as I'm riding, I'm usually like in 10, 11, 12, 13, somewhere in there. But there are gears that go way, way down and way, way up from there as well. I will probably never use gear 18 in my entire life on this bike. But yeah, the gear range is really, really wide, which I like. The low gear, gear number 1, gear number 2 is super low, which is great. That's exactly what you want on a touring bicycle, is the ability to climb in a low gear. The only downside I would say to this twisty thing is that it kind of hurts your hand if you sit here on it for a long time. So you don't want to actually just leave your hand on this thing as you ride. Instead, you want to have your hand in a much more comfortable position, and then when you need to change gears, you move it over, change gear, and then move your hand back to that more comfortable position. So that's something that I've just kind of learned by playing with it myself. A lot of people who have also tried this Pinion system have said they don't really like this dial system, and I can see why they say that, but I don't think it's that bad, to be honest. I just think it does, in fact, hurt my hand if you leave it here for any length of time. So if you have arthritis or neuropathy or something, this might not be the best system for you, but otherwise, I think it's super, super smooth. The other thing I should point out is that the bike only has 2 water bottle cages, or mounts for 2 water bottle cages. Now typically, like a lot of touring bicycles have a 3rd water bottle mount down here underneath the frame, and I don't know why. Like, it looks to me like there is potentially room to put one here, but there isn't, and I'm guessing it's because the Pinion gearbox is kind of in the way. But I really miss having that 3rd water bottle cage and 3rd water bottle, and I wish it were there. The other thing that was a little tricky for me when I was setting up the bike for myself was this front rack. Now, Co-Motion has told me that they design their bikes to work with tubeless racks, which are like the high-end, super nice racks that you can get, and they're pretty standard worldwide. They're German made, I believe, and really, really high quality. I do not have tubeless racks, however. I'm using an Axiom rack in the back and an Arkel rack here in the front. And so when I went to attach my Arkel rack, there was no eyelet here on the front fork where I could attach this rack. And there was an eyelet on the front. See, there's one here, but not on this side. And so I had to create this little, basically like a extension for my rack, enabled to get it to mount properly to the bike. So I attached it here, which was great, but I had to basically just, you know, chop this piece of metal and drill holes through it. And it's not exactly ideal, but I guess that if I had bought a tubeless rack, it would have fit on here perfectly. So that's just something to keep in mind if you do buy this bike, is that you probably want to get a set of tubeless racks to go with it. Schwab Marathon tires, which are really, really nice, really smooth. These are 650B wheels and tires, so it's kind of a non-standard wheel size. And I haven't yet decided whether I like that or not. I don't like the fact that it's hard to find that size wheel and tubes at bike shops. I've been to several bike shops and they really don't have that stuff as like stock standard parts, right? So a bike that has 26-inch wheels or 700C wheels would be much more standard and easier to find worldwide. So this may not be the sort of bike that you want to ride across Africa or something like that, where those parts are going to be like impossible to find. But if you're riding in more civilized parts of the world, Europe or North America or something like that, where 650B, also known as 27.5, wheels and tires are a little bit more common, then this might be a very good bike for you. So these wheels and tires are kind of in between 26-inch wheels and 700C wheels. They're a size somewhere in between that, kind of. And yeah, overall, I really like the ride. It's super smooth, super comfortable. The Pinion is just so impressive. Like I said, like it's going to be very hard to come back to a traditional chain and derailleur system after riding this bike. But yeah, Co-Motion did a really good job designing the Siskiyou touring bicycle. So I hope this video has been useful to you. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you out on the road sometime soon.